Welcome to 702 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Maboja. And it is a Wednesday, the 22nd of January. We've got quite a bit coming up on the show for today. You're the one we're kicking off with. And please don't get nasty because I'm going to share the conditions with you. But there's a thing in Japan where you can rent a person for a day. So I want to find out from you, if you could rent a person for a day, what would it be for? Here are the conditions. It cannot be illegal. It cannot be dangerous to that person, and it cannot be sexual or romantically inclined. And I'll share with you the context of how it works. But if you could rent a person for a day, maybe you want somebody to sit with you while you practice your piano lessons. Maybe you want somebody to queue for you somewhere, at Home Affairs, a licensing department. What are the things that you would rent a person a day for? What would you ask them to do, and maybe share why? It could just be a mundane task that you like, you know what, actually, this is something I hate doing. I hate going grocery shopping, and I don't like ordering online, so I'd rent a person for the day to do just that. You might be wondering, why would a person want to rent a person? Now, let's keep in mind, this is very light and fun, that cultures are different and how things work are different, but also the world has changed. There are so many people who find themselves in situations where there's a loneliness pandemic that is happening. Communities are separated. People are working from home. So what this is called, it's a unique service where people can rent a person for a day, known as rental family, rental friends, or son rental. And this or son rental is where you rent a middle-aged man, which is how I came across this, where an American guy was chatting to a Japanese middle-aged man who, that's what he does. He gets rented for the day. And when he was asking what are some of the interesting things that people have asked you to do, one of them, the person had bought 2 tickets to Disneyland or Disney World, and the friend could no longer go. So they didn't want to go alone or waste the tickets. And he explains that he asked his girlfriend if it was fine. She said yes, so he went. Another thing that he was asked to do was to sit in on somebody practicing for their piano recital. So there are a myriad of things that one can do. And this industry caters to various social, emotional, and practical needs and has gained popularity due to the cultural and societal dynamics like high social isolation and strict etiquette norms that you find in Japan. So how it works is that you book online typically or via an agency. Some individuals operate independently, but others are part of companies. Then the customers can browse. You can browse through profiles to choose someone based on age, personality, and offered services. Profiles often include interest, skills, and even a brief introduction. Then the meeting takes place in a pre-agreed location, such as a cafe, a park, or a public place. For practical services, they may meet at the client's home or the workplace. And the duration, typically you can rent the person for a few hours to an entire day, depending on your requirements. So here are some of the things that you can actually ask of this person. Emotional support. You can rent a person to act as a friend or a family member or a companion for social events. You see, those of you that are tired of attending weddings, uli one, babes, the service is there. Providing conversation, like just sitting and talking to someone, right? It can sound wild, but some people don't have someone that they can talk to like that. And maybe they don't want a therapy session, they just want company. So that's also offering company. Practical help. You can assist with errands, household chores, or organizing tasks. Special roles, pretending to be a relative or a friend for events like weddings, work meetings, or social gatherings. You can rent them for guidance or mentorship, so offering life advice, teaching specific skills, or giving insights about Japanese culture. And companionship activities like joining you for a meal, shopping, movies, or sightseeing. So I'm asking you, and I'm going to use the same rules that they have there. You cannot ask them to do anything illegal. You cannot ask them to do things that are romantic or sexual. And the agencies are very strict about this. And dangerous tasks that would put that person at risk, you cannot ask. Before we end the conversation, I'll tell you how much they charge. But what are the things that you would ask this person, a rented friend, rented family member, rented companion, what are the things that you'd ask them to do? And we know that Japan is quite ahead in this space because you could rent a boyfriend, you could rent somebody to hug you. I think there's like hugging situations where it's no like physical intimacy on that level. But let us know 011-883-0702, the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702.
702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabota.
When the team and I were chatting about this, we're like, oh, you need to get somebody to queue for you at Home Affairs. I was like, I think those services might already exist, right? Of queuing for a person. I don't know. It might already exist. Others say I would rent a person to drive me around. And when I thought about it, I was like, well, Uber's there. But then I was like, actually, I would do it because then I'm with the same person for the day. And not like yesterday I didn't have my car with me and I Ubered, I think I took 5 trips. 5 different personalities I had to deal with. 5 different energies. It would have been so much easier if I was with the same person. And mind you, these people don't have to be professional drivers. I'm even thinking about people who are unemployed that could make themselves available. And I'll tell you how much you would earn if I converted to rand. So some of your messages coming through on the WhatsApp line, one person's like, Leb, what kind of question are you asking now? A relevant question. That's the kind of question I'm asking. Heidi says, Relebogile, when I win the lotto, I will rent a whole team to deep, spring clean and organize my whole house and maintenance. Yo, Heidi, I feel you on that one. However, let me say a big however. So I have somebody who sorts out my closets for me. Let me tell you the downside of people coming to organize your house for you. When you need to find something, you've got problems. That's the downside of having other people do such things for you. Let's go to the lines. Terrence in Alberton, how's it?
Hi, Lebogile, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
I'm good. I think I know someone who once asked a friend to go and pretend to be an uncle and pay lobola for them. So I think the service here in South Africa, most people will rent people to go and pay lobola for them.
So is it because the person wanted to get married without the family knowing, or they don't have uncles?
Yes, they were simple. I'm so sorry. Yeah, he did that, eh? And then I loved when I saw them wearing suit and they were going to pay. I said, who's that? He said, no, this guy's going to be like my uncle and he's going to pay lobola for him. I think he didn't want the family to know.
Oh my gosh. And is it that they didn't want the family to know because they already have a wife?
No, he did not have a wife. I think he thought the family, maybe they might not like the lady or something. I'm not sure, but he didn't have a wife, yeah.
I feel like we just gave somebody an idea. Somebody sitting there saying, yes, I know how to pay lobola without my wife finding.
Yes, I think that services will work a lot in lobola here in South Africa.
Oh my gosh, Terrence, you to go be an uncle for lobola. Yo.
I love to be rented to be an uncle.
So you know what I have heard, né? And I'm in no way encouraging anybody to do this. Keep in mind the rules are if you're going to rent somebody, you must do it, but it can't be illegal. So I have heard of people doing something in fraud situations, I think in the US, where like this woman is married to her boyfriend, but he doesn't know that they're married. And the way that she did it, because he kept promising he's going to marry her, and then he just wasn't doing it year 6, year 7. So she paid someone to protect that looked like the boyfriend / husband to go like to their Home Affairs and to sign. So they signed, and she says that they've been married like 4 years and the boyfriend doesn't know they are married.
Oh my God. You know the one you said, Lebogile, about the people for Home Affairs? Yes, that one has been happening a lot for people queuing for someone at the Home Affairs.
Yeah, and I can see why it's needed because nobody wants to stand in that queue for that long. Terrence and Alberton, thank you so much for your call. One says, rent a person for a day. It's a great service and I believe can create job opportunities, including happiness in the Republic of South Africa. I mean, why not? Why not? High level. I think there are already such services provided in South Africa where you can rent someone to just hug you or cuddle you with no intimacy. In SA, we have that. Like, we have that. Please, can someone tell me? We have to have them on the show to tell us how much they charge. I don't mind making my barraking side gig money, my side hustle. I hug people every weekend for some money. Imagine. Temba in Kempton Park. Go ahead. How's it?
Relebogile.
Yes.
You know what? My story it's not nice, but I must tell you about it. I had a friend some years back. He was naughty on the side. He had a side chick.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the side chick got pregnant.
Ish.
So now, in African culture, either the pregnancy must be reported or someone must come forward from the family to say we are aware of this issue. So this guy had to rent people from the street to go to that girl's family to pretend as if they were the uncles and they are fully aware of the situation.
Oh my gosh!
And I can you pay sort of like damage and all that. So he had already arranged that. So the uncles went over and said, "Look, we fully aware that our child or our son has done this, so we're here to pay the damages and all those type of things." So yeah, so and those are the people that he didn't know. He just found them, somewhere, and then he just convinced them to do that for him, But yeah, it's one of those.
You know what, guys? There are some things I feel like they only happen in South Africa, and what you just shared with me sounds like something that only... No. Temba, also, what do they say about birds of a feather?
No, I was not part of it.
I can you said, my friend. So, birds of a feather.
No way. I get you
Temba in Kempton Park. Thank you for your call. But birds of a feather flock together. Together. I can't even deal. Mukale Pula says, Relebogile, I'm such a lazy individual, so I would pay someone to cook for you. Also me. And you know what's nice about this, right? If you are paying a chef to come cook for you, it's going to be chef prices. But if a person is there, like a person who's like, I'm in my 50s, I got retrenched, these are my skills. And the things I love doing is like cooking for my grandchildren. Then you go through the profile and you're like, okay, let me rent Auntie Mang Mang Trifina. I go pegela. It's going to be cheaper and then that person gets work. I think we need to do this thing. George in Krugersdorp, hi.
Hi, Relebogile, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
Okay, it happened many years ago. Please don't judge me.
We listen, we don't judge. We listen, we don't judge.
Okay. I was representing a client many years ago, and we were in court in the morning. I realized that this guy was not coming, and what happened was I already made arrangement with the prosecution that, guys, can we have this matter postponed? And they agreed. But I knew the reason why I was doing that because the guy was not nowhere to be found. And a warrant of arrest was to be issued to this guy. So I asked one guy to get into the dog and and I paid this guy because the prosecutor didn't even know the right accused. So I put this other guy in the dock, and then the matter was postponed, and I paid this guy some couple of, rents, and then he disappeared into thin air.
Wait, wait. I'm rescinding the promise that I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to ask you a question or two, and then I'll decide if I need to judge you.
It was wrong.
Wait, what was the crime? Wait, what was the crime?
Come again? No, it was shoplifting.
Shoplift? What did they shoplift?
Come again?
What did they shoplift?
No, they went into this, I think it was a certain spy in Johannesburg, and then they shoplifted, your toiletries and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. It's fine. I'm answered. I wanted to know how serious. George, you must never tell people you did this because we're not like a remover from the bar.
I know. That is why I said, please can you not judge me? It happened many years ago. And I just paid this guy just to stand in the dog for 2 minutes. and then the matter was postponed.
Hi, Relebogile. Shubani here. Renting a person is already happening here in South Africa. I've seen it in Houghton. These ladies who are jogging in the morning. There's these guys, I don't know if maybe they met these guys before and then they start jogging with them. There are these guys who are jogging, then they rent them now for protection. Yeah, it's happening already.
Good afternoon, Relebogile. I would like to remain anonymous on this one, but I think I would rent a person or two to cry at my ex-wife's funeral.
How? To cry at you? What was the at the end? What? What shade is this? I need somebody to read between those lines and translate. No, guys. To cry at you. What? Guys? You're...
Hey, Relebogile, Benji from Primrose. Just a quick one. Go have a look at Coffin Confessors. He's an Australian guy, and have a look what we can rent. He's on YouTube. It is mental. I think that would be hugely popular here in South Africa. Coffin Confessor. Thank you. Great show as always.
And your listeners. Levumina, I've done it before where I've hired someone. I think it was in 2021 or 2022. 2021, yes. So I was meant to go to a wedding, family obviously. And so I was under pressure because I'm not married, so I was under pressure. The aunties and everyone wanted to see at least a girlfriend or someone just at least around. And I was not in that space. I tried to talk to them, but they were not listening. So, yeah. So when this particular wedding came, I just spoke to one lady. Yeah, she was very excited to accompany me to that wedding and pretend to be my other locals.
So in essence, the person was there pretending to be a special somebody in your life to avoid family saying things. I mean, I have heard of men who are gay, not necessarily renting, but having their female friends pretend to be their girlfriends with family because of the pressure. I'm going to check out that Coffin Confessor and see. Hi, Relebogile. I want to be rented by new mothers so I can go around their houses to assist them with their babies if they don't have babies. I would have wanted someone like this when I had babies. Oh, I understand what you're saying. So apparently that's a thing. I know in the US you can like rent a night nurse or a night nanny. But I guess in the context of this conversation is renting a person that doesn't necessarily need to be a qualified something. In Asia, you can like rent a magogo to come be with you in that period after you've given birth, your postpartum period. And they cook for you traditional, I think like Korean meals. And they are there, especially if you as a new mom don't have a mother. How cool is that? I mean, there's always going to be those weird people who mess it up for everybody that come in to try rob you or something like that. But how cool is that? As for the one who said that in Houghton, a person rented somebody to jog with them for security. Because some South Africans la lawyer. You want to bother people while they're jogging.
702 Afternoons
With Relebogile Mabotja.
on 702.